Hello and welcome back to The Note. Let's take a trip to Argentina today. Argentina has long been regarded as one of the weakest countries in Latin America for investment purposes at any rate, after now more than 10 years of rule either by President Cristina Fernández or her late husband Néstor Kirchner. But it looks as though the market thinks that might be changing. With me now to discuss why is our Latin American editor, John Paul Rathbone. JP, thanks for joining me today. Let's start by taking a look at what's happened to foreign direct investment as a share of GDP in Argentina. And you can see that over the Kirchner years, it's actually fallen in Argentina while it's risen for every other significant Latin American economy. Why is that?
Well, that's also especially interesting as Argentina is an agricultural powerhouse, and with the boom in commodity prices, I mean, in Brazil you see how it's gone up, but it hasn't in Argentina, and it's the macroeconomic environment and an attitude towards business that makes investment very difficult.
Do people distrust the administration at this point? Are they fearing of nationalizations or?
I remember a few years ago the head of a French utility told me how he would never ever invest in Argentina again, and so I think some of that attitude is commonplace.
Okay, now let's take a look at what the credit markets think of Argentina, and plainly it's regarded as very much more likely to default than most of the rest of Latin America. Is that a fair judgment? Is this being tested in the courts?
It doesn't have very large debt to GDP, but it's comparable to Venezuela, Argentina's strip spread there. And Argentina's problem is its relationship with the external world and its profile. And a lot of people, for better or right or wrongly, believe that Argentina, the government there, is just lying all the time, which in terms of inflation statistics, it certainly is.
Okay, so this doesn't sound like a propitious environment to invest, and yet, if we take a look at what's happened to the stock market, it's been a really very poor year indeed for the rest of Latin America, while Argentine stocks have taken off for the skies in the last few months. Why is this?
It's a remarkable chart, and I think part of the performance of the stock market is as an inflation hedge.
Right.
25% inflation, you have to put your money into real assets.
But is it also about politics?
And a lot of it is also about politics, because now Fernandez de Kirchner's term ends in 2015. She can't have a third term unless she gets a two-thirds majority in Congress, which she won't get because she's going to lose seats in October's midterm elections. And that became clear in a series of polls in August, and that's when you can really see the stock market shooting up there.
Do we have any really good reason to believe that the post-Kirchner political scene in Argentina is going to be any better for investors? I mean, what are we going to get after her? What are the real reasons for optimism? Well,
the Argentine economy is the agricultural equivalent of an oil well. I mean, even if you treat it really badly, it's still going to do well. And it's not, the problems that Argentina have are not insuperable. But nonetheless, you've still got 2 hard years between now and the end of her term. And there are exchange controls, they're running out of foreign reserves, inflation is high, and so it could well be a tough time, and this may be, I'm not sure what this implies on pricing, but it could well be some shocks coming down the road as well.
And what are the key things, do you think, that will need to be done by the next government, whatever it is, to fix those problems? You've given us a very good reason not to invest in this place.
Well, you need to re-establish better relations with the rest of the world. Argentina at the moment excels in kind of picking fights with everybody. You need to sort out the exchange rate, which is grossly overvalued at the moment. Argentina will need to acknowledge the fib of its inflation statistics, which loses its credibility and could lead to the unique case of it having an IMF sanction. But and you need also to sort of improve the business climate. None of these are insuperable. They're really not fundamental structural changes.
Okay, JP, thank you very much indeed. I think the moral from this is that we've just been given a lot of really quite good reasons not to invest in Argentina over the next couple of years. It does sound to me as though the market, at least for stocks, is a little bit ahead of itself.